Hello again, Transformers fans. We're taking another nosedive into Beast Wars today, and boy, what a character we've chosen. One of the most iconic Transformers, let alone Beast Warriors of all time, Dinobot. Sit back and prepare for the up-and-down journey of Cybertron's greatest ever, tragic hero. Dinobot started the Beast Wars as a Predacon. He was part of the crew aboard the Dark Side, led by Predacon rogue Megatron, who crash-landed on Earth after the theft of the Golden Discs. Dinobot's personality and character were shown immediately, as he was furious with Megatron for what he saw as Megatron taking them to the wrong planet. This would also give him the honor of being the first to transform into robot mode in the show. His time as part of the Predacon team, however, would be short-lived, with Megatron's henchman Scorponok blasting Dinobot after his argument with the terrifying T-Rex. This meant Dinobot was absent from the first battle between both Maximals and Predacons, a fact noticed by the Maximals upon returning back to base to lick their wounds after the confrontation. The mystery wouldn't last long, as Dinobot would block their route back to the Axalon and challenge Primal to a duel, with the winner earning the right to lead the Maximals going forward, and for the loser,
well, it is a long way down.
Both Dinobot and Optimus fought hard to a draw, with neither bot giving an inch. Optimus grabbed Dinobot and jumped to safety after a cowardly sneak attack from the Preds, resulting in both bots now hanging by Primal's toe in order to survive. The high energon levels meant staying in bot mode for too long could have fatal consequences. Primal was protected by this due to the fact he was in beast mode, but Dinobot wasn't, and he couldn't transform from the position he was in, resulting in Dinobot telling Primal to let him go so Optimus could save himself at least, which would have resulted in Dinobot's destruction. Thankfully, a well-timed save from Rhinox saw them both survive and managed to retreat from the ensuing attack. The courage shown in the fight by Optimus had earned Dinobot's respect, and the honor shown by the Maximals had appealed to his warrior's code, resulting in Dinobot joining forces with the Maximals. Although this wasn't well received with the wisecracking Rat Trap, who deemed that
Once a Pred, always a Pred.
Ease off, Rat Trap.
their ongoing love-hate relationship would be a constant theme in the show. It was clear that both bots actually derived enjoyment from their constant squabbles. The implication during the show was that they would, in fact, desperately miss having each other to fight with should the other not have been there. And underneath the petulant back and forth laid a deep respect and fondness for each other. As the series moved forward, Dinobot became consumed with the need to know whether his actions were indeed his own, or if his fate had already been decided for him. This inner turmoil would lead him to briefly siding back with the Predacons, as he would hand back the Golden Disc to Megatron. Rat Trap made an attempt to save his bickering buddy by shooting Megatron, which resulted in Dinobot attacking Rat Trap. In one last test of Predacon loyalty, Megatron demanded that Dinobot finish Rat Trap, but Dinobot simply couldn't bring himself to do it and returned back to the Maximals. His error of judgment weighed heavy on him, and in the episode Code of Hero, which many fans regard as the not only one of the best episodes of Beast Wars, but one of the best episodes of any Transformers show period, Dinobot would attempt to make amends for his previous failings. With the Golden Disc, Megatron now had proof that the future was not set and could indeed be changed. He then planned to wipe out the valley where early hominids lived to stop their eventual evolution into humans, who would go on to aid the Autobots to victory over the Decepticons in the Great War. Despite being alone against the entirety of the Predacon ranks, he realized that ironically, despite now knowing that the future is undecided and that he does indeed have a choice, that he actually has no choice at all, as he is a warrior and the battle must be joined. In one of the most courageous and valiant moments in Transformers history, Dinobot bravely battled against the entire Predacon team, besting them all in battle, including outsmarting the monster that is Rampage, until he finally came to Megatron. Already with his power reserves depleted by 96%, he overrode his system's plea to put him into stasis lock. Knowing that in his current state, he was no match for a fresh transmetal Megatron, Dinobot bravely used the remainder of his energy to shatter the golden disc. With the Maximals about to arrive, Megatron fled, meaning Dinobot had saved the valley and the generations of early man that were to come. His final words, inspired by none other than Shakespeare,
Tell my tale to those who ask. Tell it truly, the ill deeds, along with the good, and let me be judged accordingly. The rest is silence.
Optimus summed Dinobot's existence up perfectly.
He lived a warrior and died a hero. Let his spark join the Matrix, the greatest of Cybertron.
In his death, Dinobot had found the redemption he was seeking and died the hero that he was. Dinobot's popularity meant Hasbro were keen to keep the character alive in any way possible. This resulted in a Transmetal 2 clone being introduced into Season 3, named Dinobot 2. Dinobot 2 was created by Megatron using a blank protoform, half of Rampage's indestructible spark, and the Transmetal driver, in a bid to gain control of the original Dinobot's fighting ability, without being hampered by that ghastly sense of honor. What resulted was an almost undead version of Dinobot, incredibly dangerous, incredibly vicious. Due to the sharing of the spark, both Dinobot 2 and Rampage shared a bond with one another, and the pair were very much seen as the two main lieutenants by Megatron towards the final days of the Beast Wars. After Rampage's demise at the hands of Depth Charge, memories of the original Dinobot returned, to the confusion of fans. It would later be revealed that there was an unproduced episode called Dark Glass, which would have seen Rat Trap upload the memories of the original Dinobot into Dinobot 2 in attempt to bring his old friend back. In the final episode, when tasked with destroying the helpless Maximals by firing on them from the Decepticon warship, the Nemesis, the aforementioned honor of the original Dinobot came flooding back. Realizing it would be a coward's victory, Dinobot refused. In his final act, he sent the location of a secret Autobot shuttle to the Maximals, allowing them to flee from the Ark and burst through the Nemesis. Optimus pleaded for Dinobot 2 to join them. However, he instead wished to go down with the ship and die with honor, much like the original Dinobot. Surprisingly, despite the character's immense popularity, there hasn't been an awful lot since Beast Wars for Dinobot. He recently appeared in the Netflix series Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom, which saw both Maximals and Predacons join the battle between Autobots and Decepticons. Dinobot's first toy was an off-color version of his show counterpart, released during the first wave of Beast Wars toys. Sporting a feature where his tail could open up in robot mode and spin, this figure would be re-released for the 10th anniversary with a more show-accurate color scheme, and the left arm of the Build-A-Figure transmutate. In 1999, Dinobot 2's Transmetal 2 figure was released, featuring the asymmetry that was the theme of the Transmetal 2s. In retrospect, the character would have likely fitted a Mega class more than the Deluxe class that he ended up being. This may well have solved the issue of his robot mode legs being too short and stumpy. The figure's joints also became incredibly loose over time, which resulted in the figure becoming very hard to stand up, and due to the white body, was prone to unpleasant yellowing when exposed to sunlight. In 2008, under the Universe line, another poorly colored figure was released. This time with strange additions of purple to the figure, as well as more of a gray instead of the golden brown for the body. 2018 saw Dinobot finally get the masterpiece treatment. An absolutely stunning figure, complete with 4 alternate faces, his eye lasers, and a highly detailed replica of the golden disc. This figure now allowing collectors to replicate his iconic final moments from the show. It no doubt stands as the quintessential figure representation of the character. 2021 saw a Voyager-class figure hit the shelves based on his appearance in Kingdom. This also commemorated the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars. This mold was also used for a throwback to his original toy, sporting a new head sculpt, and bringing back his original show inaccurate color scheme. The legacy that Dinobot left was epitomized when in 2010, at BotCon, he was inducted into the Transformers Hall of Fame, the first ever Beast Wars character to have been inducted, and deservedly so. As we close out our look back on one of the greatest Transformers in history, there's no doubt Dinobot will be remembered for generations to come. One of the first and best examples of a constantly tortured bot, who never fit in perfectly with the Maximals due to never losing his Predacon edge. He will be remembered for the permanent angst he found himself in, from being one of the most three-dimensional, conflicted characters to finally finding his redemption. Dinobot's legacy will never be forgotten by fans. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive into Beast Wars. Please make sure to like and subscribe and stick around for more content. See you in the next one.